Do the pump thing. Hey guys, you want to know what a guy that owns a construction company and drives 150 miles a day in that experiences over 23,000 miles of ownership, what I like and don't like? Well, stay tuned. We're about to tell you. Hey guys, I'm James and I'm with the Full Octane Garage. Today, in hopefully 10 minutes or less, because I know your time is valuable to you, I am going to talk about the 2024 Bronco Raptor and what it's like to live with it. I've had it for about 7 or 8 months and I've got almost 23,000 miles on it. And so I've got a lot of experience in a short period of time. And I'm going to let you know what it's like to daily Bronco Raptor. Okay, first, I'm going to talk about the specs for just a second. And then I'm going to walk around the outside, tell you what I've run into the outside, which there's some significant items right there. We're going to take a dip into the inside, and then we're going to drive it for just a minute and tell you what I've experienced there. Again, 2024 Bronco Raptor. The gas mileage is supposed to be like 15 around town, 16 on the interstate. If I kind of hypermile this thing, I have gotten 19 miles a gallon, which you guys are not going to believe, but I have gotten as much as 19 miles a gallon on the off-road, just the back country roads, just watching my speed. The price, I paid $92,000 for this. It listed for $96,000 and got a little deal on it back when Broncos were just starting to show up regularly on the dealership. They now go for... They start it right at $80,000, and so you can get a comparatively well-equipped one for probably under $90,000. But there are some options you need to look for, and I'll talk about that. Exterior-wise, besides being super cool, this thing is, it just looks fantastic in this black and shelter green. The only thing that I have done with it is PPF it, and I put the performance upgrade, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But first thing to talk about, as far as my experience and what I've run into, is these fenders are the better part of a foot wide, and they stick out on the front and back from this vehicle, and they are painted, which is crazy because this is an off-road vehicle, supposed to be one of the most serious off-road vehicles, yet you have painted fenders. And so I had those PPF'd, but what I ran into with the width of these is when you're looking in the camera, they don't quite show up very well. And I've come so close to hitting things in the drive-through when I'm going through a drive-through at like a bank or a drugstore, something like that. And then, hopefully I have a picture of this, but I pulled into my YouTube partner across the street. That's his garage right there. He's got a gated house like we do. And I took this fender and ran it right under the keypad on his gate. I didn't even know I had done it at the time until I pulled out and I saw the keypad wobbling. And it put a cut on this fender about 18 inches long. But fortunately, I had this car half PPF'd, and when we took the PPF off, it was like brand new. So kudos to the PPF. That would be Corsair Detail if you're interested. Second, this thing can take a beating. I got hit square on the passenger side front wheel in a parking lot while I was standing still in a parking lot, and a woman backed out and hit me square on it, pushed her bumper in, and just slammed into the front wheel, and then she bounced off. Nothing was wrong with my truck. Probably did a lot of damage to her car. The third thing about the outside is the height of this truck poses a challenge to my 5'2" lovely wife that you see in all the videos. And I'll put a little clip of her as she tries to climb in it. But what she really struggles with, it's not necessarily just the height. And it's a little weird for her too, because when she wants to climb into this truck, normally you would step in here or something and you would want a handle on this side, maybe over here, to pull yourself in. And this one's kind of low. So if you're trying to step up into this truck. It's weird to grab on here. So the next thing I know, she's putting her hand on the top or she's putting her hand on the side to get in, especially in a dress and heels. The thing about the heels is these little holes right here, a Jimmy Choo or whatever she's got, Louboutin, whatever they call those things, those heels will stab right down in there, and she was actually stuck. So she's like standing in here. She's got two hands holding her up, and then one foot is stuck down in this hole right here, and she can't get it out. And she just until I rescued her. That's three things. Go ahead and talk about the tops. So this top's removable on this side. They're like Freedom tops in the Jeep, and it's also removable on the other side, and they come out pretty quick. And then this center panel is all one piece up there. So that comes out, and that's actually probably a two-person job because that gets to be big and unwieldy. And actually you can take that top off too. And my Jeep came with covers for that and that. So I could put them away. They don't all necessarily fit within the vehicle. Maybe the Freedom tops up here, but somewhere along the line, you start taking stuff off of this truck, you better check the weather. Coming around the back, and you'll notice on the front and back that it's got 3 lights on the back. There's 3 lights on the front. That's because of the width and size of the vehicle. And then you've got of course, your little Bronco Raptor that's scattered all over the truck. And you do have a regular size spare. Look at the rear end of this thing. It is massive. It is massive. It does make Melissa a little nervous driving it around, because she's small enough that she has a hard time telling where the corners are. But that's pretty much on the outside. It's a fantastic looking truck. It's super rugged. It's fun to drive. I get all of the comments. I have to talk about it every time I go to a gas station or I go to a car show. We do a regular car show at a local steakhouse, and I can bring this and park it next to the Ferraris and Lamborghinis and stuff, and people have as much fun with this as they do with the supercars. I do dig this kind of Raptor logo right there too. That's kind of cool. Oh, one more item. The windshield. The windshield, kind of like our Hummer EV we had before this, has a very upright stance to it, and drove it around, immediately broke it by stuff coming off the road. Here in Nashville, in the spring, the asphalt comes up and it makes a bunch of rocks. And this windshield misses nothing. You have to clean this windshield twice a day if you drive around job sites and stuff like that with me, because it's so flat that every bug, nothing deflects off of it. It hits it square. And I imagine the front end of the truck would be the same way if it weren't for all the PPF. I'm going to jump in the back real quick. Kind of funny, and you Jeep owners might get this too, but when I open this truck every time, it's got this hydraulic arm on it, and then you flip the top up. Invariably, when I go to shut this all up, I close that first, and then I go to shut that. Of course, it won't go down, and then I have to open that back up, shut this. We'll do it the other way around. I have to open it back up, shut that first, and close that. Apparently, I just will never, ever remember that. Great mat on the inside. There's actually quite a bit of space in here for storage, and you put the seats down like this one is right here, and those two will go down also. It's pretty deep in there, so I've been able to put a bunch of crap in here. And these things, one, they come with these little storage bins. Like this is pretty handy right here, and they're scattered about the vehicle, but there's plenty of places to put stuff. This is actually like a quick go bag that came with it also. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know about that till I opened the truck up. And they have accessory storage things for like on the face of this and internally. So there's a lot of ways to customize this to do more. Now, if you look at the top, from the back, you'll immediately notice this rollover bar, which is actually kind of painted and then black also. And it looks really cool with the top off. Actually looks pretty cool with the top on, and really doesn't take up as much of the storage space as you would think. Okay, I'm gonna get this right this time. Oh. Quick look in the back seats, and this is where we're going to talk about. I was supposed to drop that coffee maker off at work today. Think about the package that you get with this. I would recommend getting the upgraded seat package that includes heated and cooled seats, and the technology part that comes with seat memory positions and all, and I'll show you why in the front seat in just a minute. But back here, there's no heating and cooling vents in this part right here. They're just heat vents underneath the seats, and this back seat just never cools off. So if you got little kids or something like that, you'll probably want to upgrade that, because I think the upgrade one comes with vents there. I'm not entirely sure. Correct me in the comments. I do like these neoprene like seats though, because they are wearing super well. We got a little dog, a golden doodle, and she rides with us, and these seem to be holding up super well for that. Really easy to clean. A little bit of storage underneath, and they've got these little storage pockets here. There's not a lot for cups. You got 2 cup holders right there, but as far as like on the sides of the doors and all, you can put a cup in here, and a lot of the times it will stand up depending on the cup or the bottle. But these aren't great, and they're not really big enough to do much. It's the same thing with these here too, because I got some tools in there. Plenty of room for an adult, because you got a lot of ceiling height, and you got some adequate leg room in there. It's you got to remember, it's a regular Bronco on the inside as far as size goes, even though it looks gigantic from the outside. All right, jumping into the front, where all the fun stuff is, right? You got the soft surface stuff. If you don't get the upgraded leather package, this is the deal though, and I'll pull a video up of Melissa in this seat. If you don't get memory seats, then you get this like 3 control seat situation here, where I believe this is lumbar. This is your seat recline, and then this, you have to pump it up or down to make the seat kind of go up and down and forward and back just a little bit. Although it does have, actually there's 4-way, I guess, because you can pull that and change the seat position going forward and backwards. But this sucks. When Melissa jumps in the car, and she's such a height difference from me and all, that it's like I spend 10 minutes trying to find my perfect seating position again. Again, you got these handy little pull up bars, but they could probably be better placed. And it is cool in here, because with the Bronco Raptors, they have this cool orange trim throughout the whole car. Came with all of the rubber mats and all, which are nice, because I drive a lot of job sites. You do have a lot of aux controls up here that you can program yourself and connect to hardwire yourself. Got your garage door modes right there. It does have 360-degree cameras, and the camera system's actually really good here. Got a lot of suspension controls up here. And then you do have there's a little mount here for GoPros if you want. And then your 12-volt charger right there also. Jump in there real quick. I think you actually have plenty of room, plenty of visibility in here, considering what it is. It's kind of like a big glass dome, and the height is nice, so you can kind of see, but you might watch for a little bit of blind spots, and you can't see the front fender hardly. And so that's what creates some of the issues when you're trying to park the car or pull into a drive-thru or something. See that right there? It's tall too, so if you go through your bank, you might have to get out. Let's go ahead and turn it on. It's so hot. It's like 95 degrees out here right now. Like you can see, I do have 22,000 plus miles on this vehicle. Real quick on the inside, got a couple of cup holders. I wish it had more. As you can see here, you can kind of get a cup to stay in here. Turn the air off, unfortunately. So that'll hold maybe a bottle and another cup, but it's not really stable. But there's not really storage bins per se. So if you've got loose items, you can put them in this tiny little center console, which doesn't seem to do much. That's really some of your only options there. I don't know why they do all this, like these flat surfaces up here, like anybody's going to actually put anything on the dash. As soon as you stop, it's all going to hit you in the face. I threw sunglasses up there a while back, and they did hit me in the face. You do have a car charger down here, a phone charger down here that almost never works. Since we're talking about living with the Bronco Raptor, if I were to put my phone in here right now, 90% of the time, it does not show that it's charging, because It has to be perfectly set in there. When you're driving around, it moves around. I like the stick. It is an automatic car. It's a 10-speed transmission. And this is fun right here. You have on your Bronco Raptor the R button, and you can go in and set the R button, set your steering weight, your suspension, and your exhaust noise, and then you just push your R button and it immediately goes to your preset. But in reality, it doesn't work all the time for whatever reason. It seems to jump out of programming. But you can just turn this dial twice, and it goes into sport mode, and it does all that anyways. And so that's really what I do. And also a neat little trick is when you turn that dial, it turns the auto off button off automatically, which you can program with your R button also. I never use the R button. I just turn this into the correct mode right there. So you got normal, off-road, Baja, rock crawl. Great screen display, excellent backup cameras. They look better than that. My car's dirty. You got 360 degrees, so it's all super nice. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the interior. The air conditioning controls work great on the inside up front, but again, the back suffers. I'm going to throw a camera mount, and we're going to drive around the block real quick. We'll talk about how it drives and the performance upgrade. All right, so I turned the air on as low as it goes as far as fan speed, so you may hear a little fan noise, but otherwise I'm going to die in here. Again, the front will cool off really well. The back, not so much. This is a hilarious truck to drive. Let me jump in there and say that. We came out of a Hummer EV, which is fantastic and crazy in all the technological ways, but didn't work for crap. And so we jumped into this thing, traded it after 4 months into this Bronco Raptor, and this is just hilarious. I love driving it. We'll drive around the yard. Hope I don't run over my sprinkler systems. 4 automatic. But this is so much fun to drive. It's extremely competent in off-road stuff. Used it like in the wet weather and things like that. It did so well. We got a lot of snow, and it was awesome in the snow. We have like 4 acres, but this thing's too wide. I'm sure it's super capable in off-road circumstances, but most I've seen is bad weather and job sites and stuff like that. So I can't speak too much for that. I'm sure there's other videos that will. This is more about living with the Bronco Raptor for people that are more like me, that will 95% of what they do is going to be actually on the road, and they bought it because it's badass and it looks really cool, and you have the option to do it if you want, but you're probably not really going to do it for, very often. But then you're trying to live with a extremely supposedly off-road capable vehicle. There we go. Now we'll go back out on the road. What I will say, all right, so normal driving mode. This is fantastic in my opinion. Having driven a lot of trucks and a lot of sports cars and things like that, and I drive a lot of 150 to 200 miles a day. This is a great place to be. Even with the lower grade neoprene seats, they're not sweaty or anything like that. I'm very comfortable. There's plenty of bolstering. It's fun. I have driven 300 miles at a lick in this, and I was as comfortable or more comfortable than I am in most of the sports cars. So if you're worried about daily driving it and the comfort side of it, it's perfectly fine. Acceleration wise, we did do the performance upgrade on this. This vehicle came with 417 or 418 horsepower, and I think the torque was around 430 or so, and the horsepower upgrade took it to 455 horsepower, which is a pretty good kick, but added about 100 to the torque. And so that really makes for some spirited driving. This is not a off the line 0 to 60 racing your next door neighbor's Camaro truck. That's not why you bought it, but it's nice to know that it will do it. And it is nice for the bragging rights. And so that's basically, most people buy the Bronco Raptor for the bragging rights anyways. I mean, look at it. It has the largest production tires on a normal production vehicle. They're 37 inches. I think they're 37 by 12 by 17s. Very roady, excellent in wet weather and stuff like that. And they just look badass with those black wheels. Here we go. Probably 5 seconds, 5.3 seconds, 0 to 60. And that's with the horsepower upgrade, but I was not in sport, actually. Actually, I was in all-wheel drive. We'll take it. We'll put it back in the two-wheel drive. I guess that's why it didn't slip. It's got automatic all-wheel drive, then you can put it in 2 high and 4 high and 4 low. Okay, but anyways, normally driving it around, I like the height. The steering wheel is fantastic. It's just the right diameter, and it just plenty of visibility, and it just feels, I don't know, it feels very capable. It feels very quick. You feel very roady in this, like you could just swing off the road and drive through that cornfield over there and everything would be perfectly fine. It has a pretty good turning radius too, surprisingly, for the size of the vehicle and the length and all. The front wheels seem to cut around pretty well, and you can kind of turn it around. You're never going to turn it around a 2-lane road, but you'll get close, and it's off-road anyway, so you can just drive off the curb a little bit if you want to. But this is an excellent driving experience. It delivers the Raptor name just fine for a 3-liter turbo EcoBoost engine, which is what Ford's putting in them. At some point, I assume, kind of like they came out with the Raptor R pickup like my buddy's got, that's 750 or 800 horsepower, they will probably come out with a V8 supercharged version of this thing. Completely unnecessary. This does everything you want it to do. It's as fast as you want to go in a Bronco Raptor, and but I'd get the performance upgrade anyways, just because it was only like $800 installed. I think the thing was like $450, and then another $300 for the dealer to install it. Ours was the first one in Nashville, and so it took them a little bit longer, I think, because there was a little learning curve in there, but they were nice to me on that. But I think that's really it. So I love this truck. I put 22,000 miles on it. I would probably buy another one. I like it way more than the normal pickups that I drive. And it's more reliable, definitely, than the Hummer EV. I haven't had any issues with this truck that I can think of, really. It has been fantastic. My Ford dealer rocks. They're super good about the service side of it. And you're starting to see these around, so that's kind of cool. So I'm going to shut up and let it go. I know this video went longer. Maybe I can hack a few minutes off of it. But so this is the 2024 Ford Bronco Raptor, and my experiences with driving it over the last almost 23,000 miles, and I love it. I'd buy another. If you're on the edge and thinking about it, just go ahead and do it. I think it's worth the extra 10 or 20 grand to get the Raptor over the version below it, although I'm sure that those are fine. It's just, people buy Bronco Raptors because they want something badass, and this delivers the badass. Thanks for joining us at the Full Octane Garage. If you like our videos, hey, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and leave us comments down below. Do you have one? Are you thinking about getting one? Have you driven the other ones, like the 392 Jeep or something like that? I think this is actually quicker with the performance upgrade. Don't tell anybody. What are your thoughts? Yeah, leave them down below, and we'll see you soon at the next review at the Full Octane Garage. Take it easy. Check it out, guys. My granddaughter's a fan. You gotta start them young. Bronco.